unexpected stepping down of this, which was supposed to have been discussed at 3 o'clock, and this was, of course, very much expected that earlier today that we'll see the Senate approve the proclamation of the state of emergency. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, nothing. This is the beauty of the Senate. We're talking about legitimacy of our decision. What do I mean by that? Acceptance. Acceptance is on numbers. So we felt that, okay, it came in today. Let's now let every members know. Some of our members are fasting. They might be at home doing prayers. If they know that, oh, we can extend by just few hours, they will participate tomorrow. Democracy is about participation. I personally am in tandem with Mr. President's declaration because security is very important. We're talking about security of life and property. Does the president have power to do so? Yes. The constitution says that the president has power to, implement, and protect federal laws. So if there is going to be a breakdown of laws and order, what do we expect the Leviathan to do? He cannot, just wait. It was Thomas Hobbes who said that if there is no Leviathan, the life of man will be solidly brutal, foolish, and stupid because there will be outbreak of laws and order. What the president is trying to do is to make sure that there is no breakdown of laws and orders. And he did not, he didn't dissolve. He did not dissolve the executive in river or democratic institutions. Suspension does not mean dissolution. So the president didn't say, oh, I dissolve. But he's saying, I suspend this system for the next 6 months to enable me to create peace that will protect life and property. And issues like economy is also involved, pipeline vandalization, and the stage we are in. We cannot avoid all of this to happen. And so the Constitution allowed that.
So the suspension was not to douse tension?
It's to ensure that the apparatus of government are re-embraced and restructured to ensure that peace coming. And parties too will now go in on the table and begins to dialogue. There is one thing you talk about when you talk about crisis. It ends up in dialogue. You cannot be dialoguing where you are dragging your foot here and there. And the president is the victim because he's the one that is accountable to the laws and orders in Nigeria, to the peace of existence of over 250 million people. So, look, war is like hot water. When you women put hot water in on your pot and you put on your gas, you can put water inside that pot for the next 5 minutes. But will you still put water there in the next 20 minutes while the fire is on? It's not possible.
Dialogue even before putting it on the other paper?
No, it must come on other paper. That I'm talking about. Or putting on other paper is normal because you need to ensure that everybody is aware. Like I told you, the beauty of the Senate is in the legitimacy of its decision to ensure that everybody is aware and there's a participatory democracy. So if you postpone this thing to tomorrow, more people will come into the chamber. Today we form quorum. We are 68 that register, at that register desk.
Not up to two-thirds.
What is 2/3 of 109? We meant no. What about the leaders? So add the leader to it.
What numbers were
We're talking leaders don't sign register. Only senators that sign register. The leaders of the Senate, they don't sign. So if we take 16 leaders plus 62, we are form quorum. It's just that the wisdom of the Senate president to say, why don't we put it in first thing tomorrow morning? Because 3 o'clock is about the time when our members are praying. Some people are fasting at home. They are doing special prayers. So if you tell them an important, urgent matter, of national importance is coming in tomorrow, people will be here by 10 o'clock. And we can get this thing done by 10 o'clock and we're out. We are in intendium with Mr. President. There is no two way to it. And by this time tomorrow, I wish we meet again and you find out that of a truth, we are intending with the president because this matter of security of life and properties, we don't joke with it. No president in any country will joke with that. And like I said, this is the early stage to quench the water.
Well, you aligned with the president, but if you recall, the president in 2013
yes.
called such an act an emasculation of governors.
When he was an individual,
yes.
Not when he was a president of a nation. When you're a president of a nation, your view is even different from when you are individual. The president of a nation, you are looking at the nation. So you have to step down your personal views, what you think about yourself or what you know about yourself. You have to take the national views. So the national views, in fact, if the president have discussed this in council, it's even more powerful as president in council than president making proclamation. President in council does not require explanation. because all members of cabinet are there. He has a wider power in council. President of Nigeria as president has a lower power as president, but in council he have that enormous power. And I must tell you, by Nigeria constitution, Nigeria president is the most powerful president in the world. It's only that we have a liberalist like Bola Ahmed Tinubu who is still exercising that power the way it's supposed to have. Actually, this proclamation is long overdue.
Your message to those people in Rivers, to people in Rivers?
They are quite lucky. We haven't got crisis. We haven't got breakdown of law and others. So overall speaking, this fantastic approach. At the earliest stage of the crisis, the fire is quenched. So now there is peace restored back. And in 6 months, I mean, these guys will come back to table, iron out their differences, resume back their parliamentarian job, resume their executive job, and things before. Even the suspended governor is already approaching the House, for resolution, except that the House said that they were on holiday. So president cannot be waiting for the House to be on holiday without coming back. So why things begins to go bad? So the president said, okay, you know what? I'm not dissolving democratic institution in Rivers State. I am suspecting it in order for peace to happen.
So
what is
that in 6 months you'll be reinstated?
Oh yeah, exactly. If you know very well, if you know Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if you know any liberalist, in 6 months, in fact, you have to really make this president to stand firmly. Otherwise, this kind of president I know, in 3 months, you can even say he lifted the order. He's a liberalist. That's how liberalists behave. They are too sympathetic with situation. Look at his speech. Did you read this speech? I intervene, I talk to this, I talk to that. Break it down of law and order. You don't even talk to anybody. Just suspend the situation, suspend, the institutional democracy and the structures, and then make sure that you don't dissolve them, but make sure they come back. Because people will take advantage of your simplicity to continue to breach the law. And this affects 250 million people. It starts from somewhere. And that is why Thomas Hobbes says that without a Leviathan putting his feet down, life of people will be solemnly brutal, and of course will be unsecured. And we want peace and tranquility to happen in our democracy. So let me say clearly, the president did not dissolve democratic institution. The president suspended democratic institution for 6 months. And this is done anywhere in the world where you see threat to peace. In fact, even international law, when there is threat to peace and security, this is a national security. This is not international security. So it's acceptable, it's allowed, and the president, we in the Senate, we are intending. I personally, as a senator from Mondo South, I'm intending with Mr. President on this matter. Security is priority.